Good evening from Bali, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I wanted to follow up on some of the ideas that I talked about yesterday about what our thoughts focus on and how much energy goes from us into thoughts that often create what we do not want to create. And you might have heard the idea of self-fulfilling prophecy. And people who think really well of themselves often create that. And people who really don't think well of themselves can create that too. And then there's this whole idea of conscious creation. And conscious creation is to do this consciously, where we realize the power of our thoughts, the power of our words, and the power of our actions are important too, but the power of our thoughts is incredible. And this is often why silence is magical in terms of creation. And you know that some people can be very silently deceptive and some people can be very silently loving. And of course, I'm going to encourage us that we're consciously aware of what we are doing in silence, because we will hear our own thoughts if we're paying attention. And oftentimes we're not paying attention. So they're just happening. They're just running in the background. And today I thought I'd talk about a few wonderful names that you might even know of already. One of the names that really comes to mind is actually one of the people that inspired a lot of this energetic direction for me. Now, I had started energy work years ago when I was at McMaster University. The intention was to actually disprove that it actually works. I was so science-minded at that time that I did not believe in it, though I had learned about quantum physics already in my first degree in neuropsychology, and I was intrigued by the idea. And so I was actually taken on by a professor at McMaster who would only take on one student per year. And I happened to be the lucky person because my intention was to disprove it. So she said, "You're on." And I did. I worked with energy work in terms of therapeutic touch, and I could not disprove it. And in fact, I was suddenly awakened to the awareness that, wow, energy work really does work. And now, of course, years later, I'm using this more and more. And I'd say that through my naturopathic career, I focus very much on acupuncture, Chinese medicine, of course, nutrition and herbal medicine, and everything that naturopathic medicine can help people with in terms of awareness and how to exercise, how to eat well, how to sleep well, how to all the basics, and then supplements that can help move the body in a healthier direction. But my focus was very much on acupuncture and Chinese medicine, which actually does look at emotions and the flow of energy in the body very carefully. I come back to our thoughts also direct the flow of energy in our body. So when I am thinking about, oh, you know what, I am anything, we're all aging. Since the day we were born, we have been aging, we continue to. At a certain time in our lives, we're really excited about, oh, I can't wait till I'm this age because that'll allow me to do this. And over time, we might say, oh no, I don't want to get to that age. Well, I hope I make it to that age, but I don't know if I'd be so happy, because we start looking at things that are declining, and we're aware of this around us and everything. So of course I'm going to look at health, and I want to help you direct your mind to your conscious creation. So I thought I'd read this quotation by, again, this one lady who is just incredible in terms of the number of years that she's been working and sharing this information. And I will say that more and more I see that she is actually quite in line with Vedantic thinking. And I will say that I believe now that she's even a little bit more comfortable about speaking the language that maybe Vedic tradition speaks in. Now, you know that I'm not specific about only Vedic tradition. I actually believe that anyone that goes deep into spirituality, no matter which tradition, you can look at it from Islam side, you can look at it from Hinduism, you can look at it from Christianity, you can look at it from atheist perspective, but when you go spiritual, you start thinking about there's something beyond me. And I thought I would share this quote. So this lady's name that I'm alluding to is Esther Hicks, and if you've ever watched any of her videos, you would see that so many times she would say that, oh, there's source energy, you're source energy, and you're in this form, and, the piece of you is source energy and a piece of you is not. And this is exactly what we think of in terms of Vedic tradition, that there is source energy, or we can call it Atman, we can call it Brahman, we can call ourselves Atman as a human form, but also having a spiritual level in it. And if we think about the soul within an individual, which many religions will think about that, though, there's the mind and body, and then there's a soul, and the soul is somehow connected with some divine energy. And so when the body is no longer with us, the mind is no longer with us, the soul is continuing. And to be able to utilize this knowledge in a way that helps us day to day, Esther Hicks actually worked with these energies that she just named Abraham Hicks, or Abraham, and she would often do loads of lectures and continues to do online series, I think in person too now that COVID's done, relatively done. And this was one quotation that she said that I thought would be useful for all of us to reflect on. She said, "You are creating by virtue of what you are thinking about, and so there is no advantage whatsoever to ponder, to remember, or observe, or speak of things you do not want." Now, do you remember yesterday I was talking, and if you watched my last video, you might know this, that oftentimes we will sit down and we'll say, oh, I'm going to do prayer, or I'm going to do meditation, or I'm going to chant a mantra, and we know, or we can know what the words mean. Oftentimes it becomes rote, that, I say this 108 times for mantras perhaps, or I say this prayer, or I have memorized it all, and at the same time I can be actually thinking about, now what I'm going to do right after this is going to be this. Simultaneously I can do this. So the more focus that I have on what I'm creating, then I do not think unconscious thoughts that are actually taking up much more of my brain space, and which is my energetic space, that is going out into the universe, joining up with that source energy, as Esther Hicks would say, and that would be creating things that we might not want when we're unconsciously creating. So again, if I'm even thinking about, I'm so worried about whoever, my mother, my aunt, my son, anyone, my friend, and or myself, and if I am thinking about, I don't know if they're ever going to get through, most of the time, even as I'm chanting a mantra or a prayer, the energy that I'm actually emitting is unconsciously more about, I don't know if this will be okay. And so this idea of you are creating by virtue of what you're thinking about, whether you're thinking about it consciously or not consciously does not matter. So this awareness that we do have energy that is constantly being emitted from us. And I would love for you to focus on this and recognize that so many traditions, non-duality definitely speaks about this, Vedanta in terms of non-dual thinking, talks about this, and again in a lot of elaborate description, but this is a very simple way to recognize that where my mind is going is where my energy is flowing. Now, if I don't know where my mind is going, I don't have proper control of my mind. And this is what's happening today, where lots of people will say that, I'm a mother, or I'm a father, and of course I'm going to worry about my children. For the rest of my life, I'll always worry about my children. Well, the more times you say that, guess what? You're going to worry about your children. And I think, but it's because I'm a mother or a father or a friend or a sibling or anything. We can put a label onto ourselves and then carry that. Or of course I'm worried. I'm a healthcare practitioner. I worry about my patients. And what we get as feedback is, that's so good. That's such a good mother. Because if a mother says, I'm not worried about my child, I know they're doing excellent. But they're, unemployed. They are ill. They are whatever. And I know that they're doing excellent. But that takes a faith. That takes this awareness that there's an energy that I'm feeding that already is making my child better, making my child successful, making my parent happy, whichever way, making me happy. It is me. It is that higher source in me that allows this, Hanifa, to be happy. And this awareness of where is my mind going, what kind of energy am I feeding consciously or not consciously, the more I can bring it into my conscious experience, I am bringing this energy to me to express through me, then I'm directing my mind. And this is very important. I thought that today I would remind you that whatever you want, make sure you say it as if you have it. And whatever is happening right now, make sure that you feel, I have wanted this. This is exactly what I want. Now, what happens is I think, oh, but this isn't what I want. I don't have enough money. I don't have a house. I don't have whatever, anything we can think of. I don't have a child. There's a lot of people that I've worked with that are trying to get pregnant, and when they're not able to, it's like, well, I don't have a child, so all I see are other pregnant people, ladies, and that's all I think about is what I don't have because they do. This is what, again, Esther Hicks talks about a lot, that she actually mentions that, you humans are always paying attention to what is, and you are not so able to pay attention to what is not. And this is because the space of creation is in that empty space of what is not. That's where we need to focus our attention when we are in the process of conscious creation. So I came across a quotation by Sri Aurobindo, who has done a lot of work in terms of Vedic tradition and written books and papers, and a very, very beautiful teacher. And he said, late I learned that when reason died, then wisdom was born. Before that liberation, I had only knowledge. And this is what I'd really like to make sure that we all understand together, that we actually feel really good, our egos feel good when we have knowledge. I have knowledge about this, I know about this speaker, I know about this book, I know about this movie, I know about this tradition. I can say I know about Veda. Doesn't matter. The knowledge is useful for getting to a certain point. And beyond that, we go beyond the mind to get to the space of that source that Abraham Hicks talks about, Esther Hicks talks about. This is the space where creation begins. But as I consciously create, in my awareness, I am directing this mind to help that source create the best for whoever I'm thinking about. And this does take this conscious awareness of, where is my mind now? Where is my mind now? Where is my mind now? And you would think, oh, how much can I think about my mind? I have to get through my day. Yeah, we fall into unconscious patterns, and then we go into our fears and our worries and our concerns. And as soon as we catch ourselves, let's bring ourselves back. Where is my mind now? Okay, I see, I'm noticing I'm kind of worried. Worry does not help anyone. To care about a family member is very different than I worry about my family member. Then I'll give myself the excuse, because I'm a daughter, because I'm a mother, because I'm a healthcare practitioner, I am allowed to worry because that's my profession. And then other people will also feed that yeah, you're right, that's how it should be. Should be? No, I don't think so. That is what we've created, and then we've created a lot of unnecessary, I'm going to call it suffering, unease for people, because trying to live up to this is what this role should be. Again, I do not believe in shoulds. Could be what I'd like it to be. Let's say I think a mother should be very, very loving, and this mother that I'm looking at is not, so I have judgment. All of that is low vibration energy. If I say that, oh, even if I see a non-loving mother, it's like, oh, I bet she's been loving in other times. I can see that true source in her is only going to bring out the best in her. In this moment, she's having a not easy time. Let me send her blessings for getting to her best space, her source space to come through her. That's a different way to look at things. So if you're watching the news, same idea. You can send blessings and positive energy to anything that you're seeing if you're determined to watch the news. You're watching a movie that leaves you in not such a good space, and you're seeing, arguments and fights and destruction and whatever. Remember that that's feeding the mind. And then when I am not able to sleep so well at night, or, oh boy, now I'm thinking about things that are destructive, and I keep on noticing all these accidents, and that's what I hear about on the news, and that's what I see in the paper, it's because you're already feeding your mind that I'm ready to see this, I'm ready to see this. When I say that I see anger, I set peace. I see injustice, I feel justice. This is the energy that we do the opposite. I am afraid, I'm sending love. I have certainty. And to consciously do this, right? This takes a mindful attention. So this, again, this quotation, the reason I shared it is because a lot of people think that when I read enough, when I learn enough, then I've got wisdom. And it's letting go of the reason. Because I've read enough, I've got wisdom. It's not the right awareness. It's the learning is very useful. The wisdom is already there, just being patiently waiting to be discovered. And that's where meditation can be very, very helpful, because we get to that wisdom spot without any effort except for clearing our mind. And then finally, I thought I'd finish with this quotation. And this is by, there are a number of ladies that have historically been seen as mother figures. So this woman is also called the Mother, and she is connected with Sri Aurobindo. So I suspect this is why both of these quotations came up at a familiar or similar time. But it's a beautiful quotation, and I thought I'd share this. It says, "It is no use thinking one is very sincere. It is useless to think one is not sincere. What is useful is to be sincere." And this is the key. As we lose our thoughts, or get lost in our thoughts of, I think I should be more sincere, or I am so sincere. Both of those are ego spaces. As we overcome the ego, we let go of that ego mind. So I don't have to say that I'm very sincere. I don't have to say that I should be more sincere. I just am sincere. I become sincere. As soon as I become aware of either of those aspects, I move myself into sincerity. Same thing with anger. Same thing with sadness. Same thing. Same thinking, that once I'm recognizing this is the emotion going through me, where do I want to be? I be that. Be that. And, I've done a video on, or maybe several videos on this whole idea of Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, or the three words that often Vedanta refers to. Remember that existence is being. There's nothing we have to do to be. Consciousness is that source, that it's already there. There's nothing we have to do. And bliss is uncovering the layers that are covering up bliss. This bliss, this peaceful space, this happy, content, this enjoyable space is already there. It's waiting to be discovered. And this is that space of the source that we, when we're thinking about aligning our energies, that's what we're doing. That's a lot of information in this little video. I will talk more about this in future videos too, but I hope that this has been somewhat useful to you. Take-home message from this video is, watch your thoughts and recognize that previous patterns will be there. The mind will naturally go into previous patterns thinking that it's protecting us. I don't want to be fearful. I don't want to be unprepared. So that's reason. It's reason. I've already been in this situation. I know what to do. And that's using memory. So it's all the mind. Yet, when I'm aware of who I am source energy, I am pure energy, I am centered energy, I am blissful energy, I am consciousness, I am pure consciousness. When we recognize this and let go of trying to create something, I'm going to make this way because of my knowledge, is not so useful. Because when we're creating from a pure space, only pure creation comes from us. This is what I encourage for all of us. I wish you a fantastic evening ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.